Talk to your nigga to be quiet. Talk to me. Don't tell your nigga to be quiet. Talk to me. Tell your nigga to be quiet. Tell your nigga to be quiet.
I'm the dog with the vision. I'm the boogeyman.
You can't be quiet if I'm
that guy. Everyone knows I'm that guy.
You're not that guy.
I'm that guy.
As we sit knee deep into this boxing conversation, man.
Winner. Now unified, you can't still bring the effective word.
Your winner by majority decision and new.
What's good with your fam? What's going on with you, man? I just want to jump on here and I want to talk a little boxing, man. But first, let me make sure my settings is cool. Let me make sure everything is copacetic. And then I will be right with you, man. Give me 1 second. Okay, sounding like we got sound. Let me double check. Yeah, we good. We are good, man. What's going on with your fam? Hey, listen, man. Welcome to Big Faces Worldwide, where we talking nothing but this boxing, man. Hey, listen, man, if you're new to the channel, I want you to think about subscribing because we stay knee deep into this boxing conversation, man. Now, listen, man, I had a little bit of time on my hands, so I decided to come on here and talk a little boxing, man. I've been seeing a lot of people who are counting out Keith Thurman, you know what I mean? Just picking Manny Pacquiao to just run over the undefeated, once unified welterweight champion of the world, man. And I wanted to come on here and I wanted to give my 2 cents about it, man. Manny Pacquiao, let me just say this. Manny Pacquiao is definitely a very, very, extremely great fighter. You know what I'm saying? In his day, Manny Pacquiao was the best. You know what I mean? He's the only 8-division world champion. You know, he did things and that a lot of people didn't think he would be able to do. He was able to jump up, jump down. He was able to stop, cats that people didn't give him a chance to. You know what I'm saying? But what people are failing to realize is that Manny Pacquiao is now 40 years old. You know, Manny Pacquiao is 40 years old, man. And you got to take that into consideration, man. Keith Thurman is what, 30 years old, undefeated. You know, a lot of people think Keith Thurman lost his hunger because he got married. You know what I'm saying? You know, there's times in life where, you know, you lose focus for a second. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's exactly what Keith Thurman did. I think Keith Thurman, I think he lost focus just for a second. You know what I mean? I think that, he got married, and, he fell in love. You know what I'm saying? He fell in love. He went up there in the mountains. He was playing his flute. He was doing this thing. He was enjoying life. You know what I'm saying? And when you are a boxer who have been in the sport as long as Keith Thurman has been in the sport, Keith Thurman been boxing since he was, 7 years old? You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's okay. It's okay to take a break. You know what I mean? Sometimes that break is needed. And, he had some injuries, but, he had some injuries with the elbow and things like that, man, where it caused him to be out of boxing for, an extended,
things like that, man.
an extended period of time. You know what I'm saying? Should he have been out for 22 months from the injuries that he sustained? I don't think so. You know what I mean? I think he definitely put a little bit of sauce on the vacation that he took, man. You know what I'm saying? His eye jumped off the ball just a little bit, man, for a little while. You know what I'm saying? But, ever since Keith Thurman came in the game, he has been calling out the best of them. He has been wanting to fight the best. He's been calling out Floyd Mayweather. He has been calling out Manny Pacquiao since the beginning. So if you think that this 30-year-old undefeated, hungry fighter cannot get up for a 40-year-old Manny Pacquiao, something's wrong with you. Something's wrong with you, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm seeing videos, man. Shout out to, I think it's Fight Hub TV, who has been showing, who's down there in the camp of Keith one-time Thurman, man, and they got him working hard. You can see the sweat. You can see the look in his eyes that he's working hard, man. He is putting in that extra work, man. He ain't just running with, 30 people behind him, you know what I mean, and trying to create a scene. No, he's in a gym, in the ring by itself, putting in that blood, sweat, and tears that you need to defeat a fighter like Manny Pacquiao, man. Keith Thurman, you know what I'm saying? I think that, yeah, you know what I'm saying, the Josecito Lopez fight, I thought he started off good. You know what I mean? Matter of fact, I thought he started off extremely well in that Josecito Lopez fight. You know what I'm saying? He was piecing Josecito up, man. He was moving the right way. He was off the back foot. He was in and out. He was using his lateral movement. His punch selection was great. You know what I'm saying? He was looking like he didn't have no rust at all. And then that 7th round came. That 7th round came, and Lopez caught Keith Thurman coming straight back, and he hurt Keith Thurman. But if you think of the times that Keith Thurman has been hurt, it has been by longer, taller fighters. Josecito Lopez, his reach was a little longer than Thurman's. Think about Soto Carras. Soto Carras hurt Keith Thurman a little bit. He was longer than Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman loves to exchange, man, and when he exchanges with those guys with those longer arms, man, they're reaching him before he reaches them, and he's able to get caught. But a guy like Manny Pacquiao, man, who's who's much smaller than Thurman, I think Thurman's gonna have a field day, man. I think this fight is gonna be much easier than what people think. You know what I'm saying? I think Thurman's gonna get in there, and I think he's gonna do his thing, man. A lot of people, man, they dislike Thurman. You know what I'm saying? They dislike Thurman, so automatically they want Thurman to lose, man. But when you look at the whole situation, when you look at the totality, you know what I mean? Thurman can fight, man. Thurman is a undefeated champion, young champion, man. People say he lost his hunger, man. I don't think so. I don't think Thurman lost his hunger, man. I think Thurman just, his eye fell off the ball a little bit. You know what I mean? But now, with a fighter like Manny Pacquiao, I think there's no doubt in my mind that Thurman definitely get back to the Thurman that we're used to, the Thurman that once wanted to conquer the whole welterweight division, man. You know what I'm saying? Thurman's talking that talk. You know what I mean? Thurman is talking that talk. And, I think that, he's going to make everyone see it with this Manny Pacquiao fight. People just think just because Manny Pacquiao, he looked good. Yeah, he looked good against Adrian Broner. I'm not going to lie. He looked all right against Adrian Broner. But that's because Adrian Broner, he don't let his hands go. We all know Adrian Broner don't let his hands go. You know what I'm saying? Adrian Broner, he's been fighting better. You know what I'm saying? He's been fighting better, but his best just wasn't good enough against a legend like Manny Pacquiao. But in that fight, you could see that his legs weren't there no more. You know what I mean? You could see that when he was trying to get in and get out, man, he wasn't able to do it like he used to do it. And a big part of Manny Pacquiao's game is being able to get in and get out and, relying on his footwork. You know what I'm saying? And he got in those 40-year-old legs, it showed. You know what I'm saying? It showed. It definitely showed that he's definitely 40 years old, man. And with a guy like Keith Thurman, who can fight off the front foot, can fight off the back foot, who can come at you, or he can fight defensively. You know what I mean? He can move around the ring. He can use the ring to his advantage, man, and counterpunch you all night, man. Keith Thurman can snap Manny Pacquiao's head back, man. I think there's going to be a lot of that jumping off come July 20th. You know what I'm saying? Keith Thurman still has that power. You know what I mean? If you look at the guys that Manny Pacquiao faced in the past, you know what? Let's just take a look. Let's just take a look at the guys who Manny Pacquiao's faced. I'm going to look on BoxRec, man, and just get a view of, who Manny Pacquiao his last couple opponents was, so I can get an idea, so I can gauge, the caliber of opponent that Manny Pacquiao has faced. You know what I'm saying? Let me just pull this up 1 second, and we're going to see what it is. Okay, Manny Pacquiao, 61 wins and 7 losses. He's been knocked out 3 times. You know what I'm saying? Okay, his last opponents were Adrian Broner, Lucas Matisse, Jeff Horn, Jesse Vargas, Timothy Bradley, and Floyd Mayweather Jr. Before that, Chris Algieri, Timothy Bradley again, Brandon Rios again. Now, if you look at all those fighters right there, you look at them. You look at what? Adrian Broner, Lucas Matisse, Jeff Horn, Jesse Vargas, Timothy Bradley, Chris Algieri, Brandon Rios, with the exception of Floyd Mayweather Jr., none of those fighters were on the caliber of a Keith one-time Thurman. None of them. None of them. Jeff Horn beat the shit out of Manny Pacquiao, bloodied him, bruised him, busted him up. You know what I'm saying? Keith Thurman, you know what I mean? He is way more talented, way more skilled than a Jeff Horn. You know what I'm saying? What's good with your fam? Damn, this is my man. I can't pronounce your name. I always mess your name up, man. Who is the true OG in boxing, man? No doubt Manny Pacquiao is definitely an OG in boxing. You know what I'm saying? He is definitely an OG in boxing. Milani says Manny knocks out Thurman in the 8th round. Wow. Did you hear what I just said to y'all, fam? Did you understand what I'm just saying to you, man? I just named that Manny Pacquiao's last 7, 8, 9 opponents, man. Listen to me again. Adrian Broner, Lucas Matisse, Jeff Horn, Jesse Vargas, Timothy Bradley, Chris Algieri, Brandon Rios. With the exception of Floyd Mayweather Jr., none of those fighters are on the level of a Keith one-time Thurman. You know what I'm saying? And in all those fights I just named, besides, Chris Algieri where he dominated, Lucas Matisse, we know Lucas Matisse is damaged goods. He dominated him. But Jeff Horn beat Manny Pacquiao from pillar to post. busted him up, you know what I mean? Although I did think Manny Pacquiao won that fight, but he got busted up, man. He got busted up in the process, fam. I appreciate you, fam. I appreciate you, man. Yeah, Manny Pacquiao definitely won that fight, man. But in the process, you know what I mean, he got beat up. You know, he underestimated Jeff Horn. He got beat up. And Jeff Horn is not on the level of a Keith Thurman. Nowhere near it. And Jeff Horn gave Manny Pacquiao all types of problems. Let's look at who else he fought. Jesse Vargas. You know, Jesse Vargas was going back and forth with Manny Pacquiao, man. You know, Manny Pacquiao wasn't able to dominate Jesse Vargas. It was a good fight. You know what I'm saying? They was going back and forth. It was a good fight. You know what I mean? Who else? Timothy Bradley. We all know Timothy Bradley, man. He's a workhorse. You know, Timothy Bradley got a gift in the first fight. Manny Pacquiao definitely beat, Bradley up. You know what I'm saying? But Bradley is not Keith Thurman. He does not punch like Keith Thurman. Then Brandon Rios. Come on, man. Come on, man. Manny Pacquiao made him look crazy. Brandon Rios is not on the level of a Keith one-time Thurman, man. Floyd Mayweather. How old was he? Late 30s. He wasn't in the prime of his career. And he had his way with Manny Pacquiao. You know what I'm saying? If you look at these fighters that Manny Pacquiao has been fighting and having problems with and not dominating, you know what I'm saying? Now, let's flip it. Let's flip it. Now, let's look at and see if Keith Thurman, what do you think Keith Thurman would have did with Adrian Broner? You know what I'm saying? What do you think Keith Thurman would have did with a shock-worn Lucas Matisse? What do you think Keith Thurman would have did with Chris Algieri? Brandon Rios? Come on, man. None of these guys, even Floyd Mayweather, none of these guys that Manny Pacquiao has faced the last couple years had the punch of Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman can hit very hard. You know what I'm saying? Keith Thurman can hit very hard. My man, Mr. Donato says, I think Bradley might beat Thurman. No way, man. No way, man. Bradley's tough, but Bradley can't punch. Maka, I can't even pronounce your name, fam. I apologize, man, but I'm going to just call you Mac. How about that? My man Mac says, the ref changed the game. He let Horn do the dirty tactics. I mean, if the ref lets the fight be clean, Horn will get to sleep. I admit, man, Horn was in there roughing him up, man, doing a lot of roughhouse tactics, man. I do admit that. But, you know, it's part of the fight game. You know what I'm saying? You got to be able to make the adjustments, man. And Manny Pacquiao did not make the adjustments, man. When you're in there getting roughed up and getting out-muscled, man, you got to do the same. You know what I mean? You got to react the same way. Manny Pacquiao did not do that, man. So out of these fighters I just named, man, none of them have the knockout ratio as a Keith Thurman. A lot of people like to say, Keith Thurman hasn't knocked anybody out in a long time. You know, Keith Thurman hasn't knocked anybody out in a long time. But these guys that Keith Thurman are fighting, everybody that Keith Thurman fought either went down or they was hurt by a shot. He hurt and wobbled Sean Porter. He hurt and wobbled Danny Garcia. You understand what I'm saying? He hurts these guys, man. Keith Thurman still can punch. And if you look at Manny Pacquiao's size, he's not a big welterweight. He's not a true welterweight. So what's going to happen when Keith Thurman hits Manny Pacquiao clean with a hard punch, man? You know what I'm saying? Man, I just named the fighters that Manny Pacquiao faced in the last couple years. None of them packed a punch as ever Keith Thurman. None of them. None of them. So when Keith Thurman lays that right hand on Manny Pacquiao, he's going to feel it, man. He's going to feel it, and he's possibly go to sleep, man. I predict that Manny Pacquiao's going to sleep. You know what I'm saying? And Bob Arum has come out and saying that he's fearing for Manny Pacquiao's health, and he got good reason to. When you look at Adonis Stevenson, you look at Zab Judah, both of those guys are over 40 and still boxing, man. When they take that trauma to the head, you see what happens, man. They end up in the hospital. They end up with bleeding on the brain. Just like Deontay Wilder just said recently, man. His doctor told him that the head is not meant to get hit. You know what I'm saying? The head is not meant to get hit. And especially when you're 40 years old. You know what I'm saying? You ain't a young buck no more. Manny Pacquiao's not a young boy no more, man. He's trying to prove that he still got something left in the tank. Why? I don't know. But he may end up in the hospital, man. He may end up. Bob Arum ain't saying that for nothing. Bob Arum been around a long time. And he knows that the older you get in this game, the more vulnerable you get in this game. And, you know, he's fighting a young, undefeated, fast fighter 10 years younger than you who can punch with both hands, bigger than you, a natural big welterweight. Manny Pacquiao don't have that speed like he once had. He's still fast. You know what I'm saying? He still got his fast hands, you know what I mean? But his legs is what he needs, man. His legs, the Manny Pacquiao's gift was his ability to get in and get out. To get in and let them flurries go, boop, 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 bop, 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 and then get out of range, man, before you can find him. But at 40 years old, his legs ain't moving like they used to. You know what I mean? His legs ain't moving like they used to, man. He's not going to be able to get in there and pop, 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 and let him off on Thurman and then get out of danger without something coming back at his ass. Thurman's a very good counterpuncher, man. You know what I mean? Thurman's a very good counterpuncher. You know, and we seen what Marquez did. Marquez is a little guy who there's no way Marquez punches as hard as Keith Thurman. No way. So what's going to happen when Keith Thurman hits him flush? You know what I'm saying? The only vulnerability, let me see what the chat say, man. Okay, we all caught up with that, man. The only vulnerability that with Keith Thurman is at points in the fight, he gets overconfident and therefore he gets defensively irresponsible. Like he did with Josecito Lopez. He dropped Josecito in that second round and he got more aggressive looking for the KO because he was off for 22 months and he wanted to make a big comeback. He wanted to get that knockout bad. So therefore he dropped his defenses, man. His defenses was not up to par. You know what I'm saying? And he got caught slipping by a hungry Josecito Lopez who wanted to put something on his ass. You know what I mean? And that's what happened, man. But the champion that Keith Thurman is, Keith Thurman, he weathered the storm. You know what I mean? And you got to be able to weather the storm when you're a champion. And that's one thing that, you know, people are forgetting. Yeah, he got hurt by Josecito Lopez, but he didn't go down and he was able to recover and win the fight. You know what I'm saying? He was able to recover and win the fight. Now, all the little dance, you know, running around like a chicken with his head cut off, I don't like that, man. You know what I'm saying? So his team needs to be working on scenarios. When you get hurt, Keith Thurman, when you get hurt, you got to learn to wrap up. You know what I'm saying? You got to learn to wrap up or cover up. You can't just retreat, running around the ring, you know what I'm saying, looking crazy and get caught with something big. You can't do it. You know what I mean? You can't do it. It's not good for you, man. You know what I'm saying? But I think Keith Thurman's going to knock Manny Pacquiao out, man. I think this is going to be the last we'll see of Manny Pacquiao. You know, the Manny Pacquiao keeps, you know, he says that he has a lot left in the tank. You know what I'm saying? He says he got a lot left in the tank. I'm not sure. I don't know about that. You know what I mean? I'm not sure about that. You know, I don't know. Okay, I thought we fell off for a second, man. But yeah, man. You know, I just think that Manny Pacquiao, you know, he's barking up the wrong tree with Keith Thurman. You know what I'm saying? You cannot judge Keith Thurman off that performance with Lopez. Like I said, he was out for what? 22 months rather. 22 months, 22 months, coming off an injury. you know what I'm saying, in a fight that he was winning. He was looking good. He was looking sharp, you know what I'm saying, before the 7th round. Keith Thurman was doing his thing before he got hurt. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't like his energy, the things that he's saying out of his mouth. Not necessarily saying that I do, you know what I mean? His energy towards Earl Spence, man, is disgusting. You know, it's disgusting, man. You know, when they mention Earl Spence's name, man, his whole attitude gets different. I ain't gonna lie about that. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie about that. But I think after he goes in there and you know, puts these knuckles upside of Manny Pacquiao, I think he'll build his confidence. Because right now, what he needs is a confidence booster. You know what I mean? He needs his confidence builder. You know, and a win over a legend like Manny Pacquiao is just a win that, you know, he'll need. Keith Thurman went live the other day. You know what I'm saying? He went live the other day, man, and he was you know, in the chat they kept on his ass about Manny Pacquiao. They kept on him, Manny Pacquiao, not Manny Pacquiao, Earl Spence. They kept on him about Earl Spence. So eventually he had to answer him. You know what I'm saying? He said 2020. Said 2020, him and Spence gonna fight. You know, he said 2019 is a get back year. He's been saying that from the beginning. You know what I'm saying? He's been saying that from the beginning. So at least Keith Thurman is keeping it a buck, man. You know what I'm saying? He's telling you what he gonna do. You know, whether we like it or not. I don't like the energy that he's spewing in these interviews, man. You know what I mean? But he's telling you what he's doing, and he don't care if you like it, if I like it, or who don't like it. He don't care. You know what I'm saying? He said he gonna fight Spence when he's ready. But recently on his little live, he said that 2020 is the year. You know what I mean? And I think that a victory over Manny Pacquiao in devastating fashion will give Keith Thurman that confidence that he's lacking right now. You know what I'm saying? He's been out for 22 months. He came back and fought Josecito Lopez in a tough fight where he had to overcome adversity. So he's doubting himself. You know what I mean? He's doubting himself a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, a win over Manny Pacquiao will, you know, will be that confidence booster that he needs. My man Mac says, Pac-Man versus Thurman is a chess match. Anyone can win. I'm a Pac-Man fan, but Thurman is not a fluke. It's interesting fight. It is an interesting fight. And let me tell you something, man. I've been a Pac-Man fan all my life. You know what I'm saying? I mean, all his career, let me say that, not all my life. But through Thurman's whole career, through Pac-Man's whole career, I've been a Pac-Man fan. Let me say that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying this out of malice, like I dislike Manny Pacquiao. Nah. I dig Manny Pacquiao. I'm saying that he's 40 years old. He's past his prime. He's fighting a young, hungry lion in Keith Thurman, and I think he's going to lose. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? I think that, you know, him trying to prolong his career, you know, for whatever reason, I think it's going to backfire. You know what I'm saying? I think he should have, you know, after the Adrian Broner fight, he should have walked off into the sunset, or he should have picked an easier opponent. You know what I'm saying? He does not want to retire. He does not want to have a fighter retire him. He does not want to go to sleep as his last fight. You know what I mean? With the type of career he has, man, he deserved to go out of this game on his feet, man. And fighting a guy like Keith Thurman, you know what I'm saying, it's hard for me to see that, you know, him walking off into the sunset, you know, without, you know, with all his faculties, man. I just don't see it. You know what I'm saying? I just don't see it, man. I think Manny Pacquiao is going to sleep. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, another thing I want to talk about is Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua, man, a lot of people are counting Anthony Joshua out, man, saying he's damaged goods, you know what I'm saying, saying that he's taking a rematch, you know, too soon. You know what I'm saying? Excuse me 1 second. Excuse me 1 second, man. All right, my fault, my fault. Yeah, a lot of people, a lot of pros, a lot of boxing insiders, man, they are saying that Anthony Joshua was taking this rematch too soon, man. You know what I mean? They saying that his confidence is not, something was wrong with him that night. You know what I mean? I'll be the first one to admit it. I've been saying it, you know, since the fight happened, that Anthony Joshua was not himself. You know what I'm saying? Everybody noticed it. It's not just me. Everybody in boxing is saying it. You know what I mean? No discrediting Andy Ruiz. He did what he had to do and went in there and beat Joshua's ass. You know what I'm saying? You know, he did what he had to do and beat Joshua's ass, man. And I can't take that away from him. You know what I mean? I can't take that away from him, man. But listen, I apologize, man. I got to close this stream off, man. I got to do something, man. I just got to call. You know what I'm saying? But I want to jump on here, man. I want to test some new things out, man. I want to talk a little bit about Keith Thurman. You know what I'm saying? But I will be back, man. I will be back, man. Possibly a little later. I want to test some things out, man. But there's some things that I got to do in my personal life. You know what I'm saying? Happy wife equals happy life. You dig me? But I appreciate y'all tuning in, man. The Big Faces Worldwide, where we talk nothing but this boxing, man. And do me a favor, man. Don't forget to hit the like button on the way out, man. I appreciate it, man. And if you're not yet subscribed to the channel, don't leave out of here without hitting that subscribe button, man. But in the meantime and in between time, I want y'all to stay blessed and keep on supporting this sport that we love called boxing. Peace. I'll holla back.